movement. Got you moving. Keep it moving. Black talk, real talk, black talk, real talk like. Yeah, my name is True from what you wanna hear. NFA got my back, let's make it crystal clear. We screaming black power, we ain't never scared. Two queens who do the most is host. So it's a movement. Got you moving. Keep it moving. Black talk, real talk like wow. It's a movement. Got you moving. Keep it moving. Black talk, real talk like wow. It's a movement. Got you moving. Keep it moving. Black talk, real talk like yeah, my name is True from what you wanna hear. NFA got my back, let's make it crystal clear. We screaming black power, we ain't never scared. Two queens who do the most is host. So it's a movement. Got you moving. Keep it moving. Black talk, real talk like wow. It's a movement. Got you moving. Keep it moving. Black talk, real talk like wow. Hey everybody, welcome to Black Talk. What's going on? Today we have two special guests. We got Shakira in the house as a host and a guest. And we got Joaquin in the house as a special guest. Say what's up, Joaquin.
Peace and love.
Yes. For those who've been watching us, we had to change the song to our podcast. We could no longer use Lauryn Hill. Peace and blessings to Lauryn Hill. We tired of riding your coattail, but you did us some justice. We got this far. Today we're gonna talk about a few topics. Neffy couldn't be here today. Neffy, shout out to Neffy. We know you're watching. And we're gonna have Shakira. Shakira's gonna go first and talk about a few things she wanna let up her chest, a few things she wanna put out there. And let's vibe, y'all. Let's vibe.
Hi everyone. Can we see our viewers?
Yeah, you're gonna see the comments when they come on. Well, you're not gonna see the comments. I'm gonna let you know what they're saying if they're
okay. Well, Tonight we decided to talk about generational curses, and I thought it was important for those that are listening and watching to understand exactly what a generational curse is. So I actually pulled up the definition. I'm gonna look away from the camera and read it. A generational curse is an uncleansed iniquity that increases in strength from one generation to the next. That is from one generation to the next, affecting the members of that family and all who come into the relationship with that family. So not only does a generational curse affect your family, it starts to spill out like a tree with branches to anybody and everybody who comes into contact with your family, be it a spouse, friendships, your children. So I thought that was important to put the definition of it out there. And then the iniquity is immoral or grossly unfair behavior. So let's let that sit in for a minute, and everybody can relate. We all have some generational curses that we suffered through. We grew up in them. We've experienced them when we got married. We experienced them when we was in relationships, baby mama drama, baby father drama. Generational curses have destroyed marriages, destroyed families. It really holds people back. And it's important to know that it is another side to it as well. Not only is it a curse, but it can be broken like anything else. But you have to make a conscious decision and learn effective ways to come up out of those curses. So that's where I like to start at right there.
Okay. What about you? You got something to chime in on?
Yeah. I'm gonna just piggyback off of her what she said. She gave you the definition. I'm gonna break down the definition a little bit my way. So we want to say that, all right, generations. We're talking about generations here, right? So if you break down the word, the gene and generation, you spell it like gene, Gene. So we're talking about genetics, right? When we break down generation, He's breaking down genetics and genes. So something that's encoded in your DNA. When you're talking about genetics and genes. So we're talking about a genetic curse, something that's in your genes, in your DNA, that's passed down, right? That's the same way we pass down through our DNA, genetics, and traits of things, physically, mentally, spiritually. We could pass that down. Same thing as somebody, you have a son or a daughter, and you pass the genetics down. Your how do you look? It's the same thing. Trauma, anything like spiritual, physical, all that gets passed down. We're gonna break. We're talking about a curse. So when you say a curse, we talk. People say that, oh, okay, a curse is a spell or something that's put on you or something like that. That could be true. So if you're saying that and you're saying about a curse, any curse can be broken. So it's up to you to break that curse, that spell. So that's all I got to chime in for now. For now, generation curses. So how you can, we got to come up with solutions. If you know the problem, you want to come up with the solution. So what's the solution to the generational curse? We're gonna get into that though. That's just all I want to say right now. And we're gonna work on solutions as we go a little bit further into this.
I like what you
That's
said
about.
about I like what you said about the genetics of it. And some of the things, like you said, you could pass down beautiful hair to your children. You could pass
Mhm.
down pretty brown eyes,
Yeah.
complexions, and everything. You can also pass down laziness to your children.
Mhm.
However, I personally don't feel like some of those curses that we call curses, because curses, when you think of a curse, you think of like witchcraft and
Yeah.
somebody actually putting a, like you said, a spell on you. But I think some of it is just symbolic for the way in which our kids learn from us. And just because you're not in a classroom setting, it doesn't mean your children are not learning from you. Your kids are learning from you in all the behaviors that you do. I curse. I got a potty mouth. I was
Mhm.
in shock when I first heard my children cursing. They knew not to curse around me, but it still bothered me the way they talked when they wasn't around me. I'm like, and I had to look into myself, like, who taught them that behavior? I had to take full responsibility. So some of the
Yeah.
things that we do mechanically around our children every day, like cursing, running late for work, um, quitting jobs, struggling, being disorganized, those are curses that you're putting on to the next generation without even knowing it. It's like in your mechanics. It's like it's something that you're just doing unknowingly, and they're picking up on it from birth. They're picking up on it because my grandson, when he was about, I want to say a month and a half, 2 months, he was old enough to like lift his head and acknowledge that we was there. He cried for the cell phone one day. He literally at 2 months old cried when we moved the cell phone from his face, but when we put it back in his face, he would stop crying. So right there, I said, he at 30, 45 days old, he's picking up. His mother is always on this phone. He's picking
Yeah.
that up. He's learning. So we teach our kids so many generational curses just by being who we are. And it's not something that we do on purpose. It's because we
Yeah.
haven't fully acknowledged it and we haven't consciously decided to stop this behavior. I'm guilty of it myself. I done taught my daughters a lot of bad things just by being in bad relationships, arguing in
Yeah.
front of them with my husband. You know, I taught them so many bad things. It's generational curses because now I got a 19-year-old. I'm sorry, she's 20. And I see my behaviors already spilling into her relationship. I see the drama. I see her being argumentative. I see her putting up with things that she shouldn't put up with. I see her enduring and staying, giving more energy to a certain situation that I feel like now from the outside looking in, you don't need to give it that much energy. But I taught her to give it that energy. So I have to take full responsibility and try to break that curse.
Right, right. Because I grew up in a home of domestic violence, watching my mom attack my dad. I pretty much picked up the habit as certain years went through, till I met my match. And a wise person told me, you can't be putting your hands on people. You can't put your hands on a man. You can't put your hands on nobody. Nobody gives you permission to do that. But I grew up in a house where it was always consistent arguing, yelling. mistreatment towards the kids, like I said in my previous shows, it's never affected me now because I feel I'm a beautiful hearted person. I turned out pretty well despite everything I've been through.
Great.
But at first, it was like a sponge. I was a sponge, just watching it and taking in everything that my mom was doing, So it is a generational curse. And my job and in my mind and in my heart was to break it, not to continue with it. Because I don't want my daughter or my son having to go through what I've been through as a child. So I feel out of all my siblings, I'm the one that broke the generational curse.
For
my
family.
For my family.
Yeah, your I call it like a nest egg. That's your nest egg or your branch. That's your branch from the tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I can do though. For mine,
Yeah, definitely. That's all you can
do. Take responsibility.
Take responsibility.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
not feel guilty that you can't break it for the other branches. Harboring that guilt too sometimes. Like, I'm the type of person that I try so hard to be the person in my family that would be the beacon of happiness and forgiveness and light, and don't do that, or we could forgive that, or we could get over that. But I found that all of my good energy that I was putting out, people didn't even receive it. They was just wasting my energy. They was literally wasting it. I was giving out that good energy, but it was falling to the floor. They wasn't absorbing it because they wasn't ready. Like, you can't change everybody. You got to be responsible for yourself and do it for
myself only.
Yeah, and break the generational curse for your children and make sure they okay. And it's very hard, but it's so many curses out there. Like, you got the generational curse of molestation. So many people suffer from that because somebody in their family was molested, and then that person molests somebody, and then they molest, and that keeps going. And it's horrible because I even heard, I forgot who I was speaking to recently, and they were saying that their family member knew about it. Like, the adult in the household knew about it.
See, that's the shit that bothered me. Yes. Like, these mothers, they be out here trying to keep these men, knowing these men be doing this shit to their children, but you so desperate and so hard up to have a man in the house, or just to go around talking about, I got a man, or he loves me and all other stuff. I never understood why they allow these type of men to come in a household and destroy their children like that.
Yeah, because it happened to them. So they don't see themselves as worthy, or their children as worthy of anything different. If I survived it, you'll be okay.
And it's going to affect. And the main thing about it is it's affecting the kids. The kids get affected, and that's the curse, like you said. Like, the generation, it becomes a habit, and you become accustomed to it. Like, it's normal, and that's not good. You thinking that it's normal, like, and then your kid grows up and thinking that is normal. It's like, well, my mother, my father did it. It's nothing. That's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
That's why it's up to us to take the full responsibility. And if we see something and we know that it ain't right within our hearts, we got to dismiss it. Mentally, that's where it all starts, from the mental. If we can mentally get around that, and whatever it takes, whether it be some type of meditation, like I always say, I say everything starts from the mental. So if you can mentally get yourself out of that trap or out of that curse, then you're on a way to a different goal, a different setting.
Right.
You could change that. It's all changing in your mind, changing your mindset, to change everything around you, how you perceive things. And like Tiff was saying, it was a habit. Things become a habit, or certain things that you see your father or your mother doing, and at that time when you're young, you're thinking it's okay, but then when you grow older, you be like, hold up, I remember my mother or my father was doing this, but that wasn't right, and certain things like that. But then as you grow up, you start doing, you create those habits, those traits. Right. And then you start recognizing, obviously, as you go older and you get into relationships and you have a kid, and you be like, nah, this ain't the right way. I know it wasn't right. You didn't feel right. And then you go, you reflect on your childhood, and you be like, oh, I remember this, I remember that, I remember my father doing this. or doing that, and then you start seeing yourself, those same qualities in you.
Mm.
That's and you be like, oh, this is not what I want to be. You gotta
Yeah.
Right.
recognize it and then
Yeah.
change that. Like whatever it is, whether your father was abusive, a cheater, or whatever the thing, didn't treat your mother right, or whatever it was, and you start doing that same thing, and then you create a habit, from a youth, and then you're growing up as a teenager, and then you go older. Of course, you should be getting wiser and understanding those things that you inhibited, you inhabited.
Right. Miss Creekmore, Miss Denise Sissy Creekmore said, not just men, women too. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
What she meant by
True.
that, men, not just
I guess
men.
with the molestation, women molesting kids as well as men.
Wow.
Yep, that's what she said. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
I had a
Okay.
cousin. Let me tell you, I got a cousin. It's my mother's. I'm putting shit on blast. It's my mother's older brother's son. He's schizophrenic, but he's also a child molester. They caught him. He was going to church with friends of the family, going with them to church. They was at a house. They left him in the house with the little 10-year-olds, 3 10-year-old boys in the house. The oldest son of my uncle's wife went out to go get some cigarettes. He said he came back, heard the little boy yelling. He walked up the stairs into the apartment, found a little 10-year-old bent over by my cousin.
Horrible.
And my cousin told him he shouldn't be around here then. He shouldn't be around me.
Oh.
Now, mind you, they shouldn't let my cousin with them 3 little boys because, first of all, my cousin is schizophrenic.
And he already
all day, no meds, no nothing. So I kind of know certain things from my own family, like shit like this that happens and occurs,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's deep. Now I have a side of my family who it was known that one of my uncles did that to my cousin. And one time when I went down south, all the grown-ups left and he was there and he called my cousin into the room.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was about 12 or 13 because the last time I went down there I was 13, and that's why I stopped going, because I was like old enough and wise enough, being from Newark, New Jersey, and them growing up in the South. They was different from me. I was more like out there. My mother taught me, you don't let nobody touch you, you don't do this, you don't do that. And they were Jehovah's Witnesses, so that was like shunned if it came out. But anyway, my uncle, he called my cousin in there after it was already a history. There was already a history of him touching her. And it came out that he touched one of my other cousins. But the thing that bothered me the most, why did y'all leave us with him? Why did y'all even expose us to a chance to have that happen? And I thank God he never touched me, because my uncle and my mother was, like I said, they was from Newark. And they had a reputation of crazy, and he know my mother would have came down here, and at the time I lived in Jersey, but now
Right shot.
Yeah, it would have been a generational curse to break right there. Like my mother, but exactly. But he knew better. But it hurted me to my core that when my aunt and them got home, I kind of told them what happened, and I was fired up and ready for like shit to pop off. I'm from Jersey, so. Oh, Jersey. Guess what? Such and such was in the room, and it was such a quiet movement. Nothing happened. I remember he was gone. Like when I woke up the next morning, he was gone. But right there, how many of his sisters did he abuse? How many, of my cousins did he abuse? And they still allowed it. Who abused him? Who abused him?
Yeah, that's true. Where did he go to?
I really thank God that I never experienced that, and my kids never experienced it, because it's horrible. I have friends who suffer from that to this day, who going through that.
Right. Miss Denise Sissy Creekmore said, but to heal fully, you have to go to the root to understand what is the poison, understanding why is the 5th layer of fixing the brokenness. First happens in the womb.
Read that again.
Yeah.
But to heal fully, you have to go to the root to understand what is the poison. Understanding why is the first layer of fixing this brokenness. First, I guess you mean curses happen in the womb.
Oh, wow.
But I said that last show. When we carrying these babies, what we go through, they going through it in the womb. Like my son, like I was going through so much emotional hormonal change with my son, dealing with that that I had to put my hand over my stomach and pray that my son comes out normal, through the distress he was going through in the womb. Because I kind of felt that in my heart, like, damn, I'm going through all this, but my son is in there. I don't want him, to come out with issues, because he's supposed to be living peacefully in it, not going through what I'm going through in the outside world. So
yeah,
that's true though, because that's his matrix inside of you. And when he's in that womb or she's in that womb, that's their matrix. So you're creating that whatever you're going through outside, that's what he or she's seeing inside and inside of you. So any stress, anything that's going with your hormones, that's going to reflect on. That's 100. And then they coming out like, you like, yo, why you crying so much? Or why you doing this? Or why you doing that?
Right.
And then they're like, because you did this to me. Like, like this is what I was going through. I'm just showing you what you showed me in the womb.
Well, I want to touch on something that you mentioned. I think is important. Cheating. And you said, I don't know if you said this. I don't want to, quote you incorrectly, but you say, you see your dad do it. And then you turn around and do it. So you watched the man who you admired, your model. That's the person who you model as a boy.
Exactly.
You see him cheating and breaking marriage and hurting your mom and sleeping around. And then you turn into a man and you start to mock those same behaviors. At what point as a man, not to expose you, but I don't know if you feel comfortable with this question. If you ever, if you ever cheated on a woman and hurt her or been cheated on, because women cheat too, but at what point as a man do you realize this is a curse? I picked this behavior up somewhere.
Well,
before you answer, I just want to put out there, a lot of men say cheating they do it because the woman lacks something. But I totally disagree with that. I think it's something that they lacked. But go ahead.
No, I came to that realization real. I won't even say late, because there's no such thing as late or whatever. It's on time when it's supposed to be. I don't see it like it's late or it's too late. As long as you recognize it, that's the key thing. Is recognizing that you have a discomfort of a way how you're treating a female, a woman, because like I said, I see my father do it, so I'm thinking to myself, unconsciously now, as growing up, like, man, this is how I'm be. He's a role model for me, but unconsciously, as I'm growing up, as a teenager and things of that nature, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it, like, But when I got older and I got wiser and I got married, my ex-wife, she actually put me on. Because she used to always say, like, you act like your father, you act like your father. But I didn't take it, I took it lightly, like, whatever, like, what you mean?
Literal, yeah.
Yeah. So then it started getting in me like, hold up, I do got some of these traits, this and that. Now, I was in denial, saying like, I don't do that. I treat women right. I treat women how they're supposed to be treated. But then I say, hold up, this is not right. If I'm cheating or I'm doing things of that nature that's taking me out of bounds, that's no way of treating a female. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's about, that's definitely not respect. You know what I'm saying? So it's about respect. And the number one thing about a man is you want to show your woman respect, and that's definitely disrespectful in any kind of way. So when I realized that, I said, you know what? I'm a better man. These are the qualities that I don't want. Now, mind you, my father, he got good qualities. Some things that I want, that I'm gonna keep. You know what I'm saying? But all the things that how you treat a female, how a woman's supposed to be treated, I discard them. And and it took me a while. When I was older, I didn't recognize that when I was younger, not even in my 20s. I got in my 30s when I started realizing that I was in a bond, in a relationship, committed, and I started doing things out of bounds, and I started realizing, like, hold up, this is not sacred. This is not how it should be. And that's my realization. And that's how I came to it. And like when the cheating part, it could go, like you said, it could go both ways. It don't have to be the man cheating, and it could work both ways. But I'm speaking from a man's perspective. From mine, that it could work both ways. But that's how it affected me. You know what I'm saying? Growing up. And also too, it was a lot of things that influence things that you see, things that you hear, you know what I mean? The music, the TV and things of that nature. That also plays a role and influence on you too. You know what I mean? Subconsciously, you're not seeing it, but you're seeing like things like the things, families is breaking up because number one thing is cheating. You know what I mean? Sometimes it don't even be about money issue, financial, none of that. It be the number one thing because they'll deal with that. You financial or whatever. That's not to say that's not lightweight, but cheating is more. I would say for on top. You know what I mean? Who wants to be somebody that's disrespectful that's going to go out of mess with somebody else? That's how I feel.
Brings me to a really important generational curse between Black men and women. I did like a live video a couple of months back. Why Black men find it so easy to disrespect and dishonor a Black woman. It's like that's a deep curse. It goes back to what you said initially within our genetics. It goes back to slavery. It goes back to colorism, where a woman that is Tiffany's complexion would be praised over a woman that's my complexion. And men, no shade, my beautiful queen. Yes, my red bone sister. But it's a truth though. It's a truth that a lot of Black men tend to favor and put on top a more they like an exotic looking woman, like curlier hair and longer hair and fairer skin. And why is the Black man so easy to put down the very womb that he was born out of? Like, where does that curse come from, and how can we as a community raise our children different to break that curse?
It starts with you. It starts with the person. Like it starts with me, right? If I didn't recognize that, I have two sons. Now, mind you, what if I kept doing the route I was doing? Well, my sons would pick up. So it starts with you, with me recognizing that and showing them that this is how you treat a woman. Even telling them but more than just telling them, actions. Showing actions. That's what proves. And I have two sons, so obviously I've recognized that what my father was doing was wrong, and if I keep doing it, then my son, I'm just going to pass it on. My son's going to recognize it, they're going to see it, and they're just going to mock me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to take full responsibility. So if I can change that, which I will, and I did, then my kids could see something better than what I seen.
And I break
that curse right there. My 7 and 11.
Do you feel as a Black man raising two Black sons that you need to have a conversation with them at a certain age about the stereotypes that are placed on Black women and how to break that curse and to love Black women of all complexions, all shapes and sizes, and how to enjoy the art of a rap song without actually ingesting the behavior that they're spilling out against Black women, calling us bitches and hoes, and just
that's number one. Just putting Black women on a high status, because that's what I do, and I teach my kids that. I honestly do. I teach them that, and how the Black woman is the universe, is the womb. What you come out of, that's what you want to respect. That's how I teach my kids. Like your mother, that's who you want to respect at the most high, and she's Black, and I just, that's what I promote to my kids, and I hold, and they know it too. I hold all women though, not just, all women. Yeah, all women. You know what I'm saying? But Black women in particular, you know what I'm saying, is the goddess and the God. You know what I mean? She's the one who gives birth to all humanity. Forget it. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel, and that's what I know is whole truth. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not advocating to teach them just to admire Black women, because I'm glad you said that all women matter, but I think that the other women already matter. Mm-hmm. It's the sisters who don't matter. Yeah. So the other women, they already matter. They already get honored. They already get taken care of. Because you look at our athletes, when they hit them riches and they making that money, very few of them marry sisters. It's like
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
and the thing that kills me with that is the sister would have struggled with you. She would have been your ride or die when you ain't had that basketball contract. But the
Mm-hmm.
white
Yeah.
woman that you married, she wouldn't have had you when you was living in the projects.
Right.
Oh nah.
Where's the break at with that? Like, what does the black man not see with that? Is it like a honor of a rite of passage? Oh, I got money now, I'm gonna marry me a white woman.
Yeah,
I think I'm sorry, but I think a lot of that, a lot of our black men turn their backs on black women again from generational curses. Their mother. It's things they didn't see in a mother that they don't want to see in a woman they choose to deal with.
Whoa, that's deep and heavy right there.
Yes, because it goes on in my family. It goes on in my family.
I never even thought of that. That is an excellent point.
Yeah, it is.
I never thought of that.
That's
want the opposite.
Word up. That's some true shit. And what's around their environment, what they seeing, what they perceiving, and like we go with the mother and our father, we both have to take responsibility for that, and well, me as a man, I definitely hold. I tell my sons, I teach them, and I hold black women, to a high statue, so they know that that's what I'm about, and I'm not racist or none. That's definitely not the case. But I just know that the power is in the black woman, the black womb. that's the power, the black hole, whatever you want to call it. That's what holds true. I'm gonna stick to my roots, and that's what I teach my kids. Yeah, like that's what I teach my kids.
Okay, well, let's move on to another topic. Married couples having threesomes.
Oh boy, entanglements.
Entanglements,
honey.
What's your thought on that? Well, you the man up here. What's your thought on that?
On threesomes? Nah, I'm gonna disagree on that, because all right, what kind of threesomes you talking about? Because most of the time when people say threesomes, they gonna say, all right, another female. Would you respect your female if she wanted another man? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we talking on your behalf. We know you ain't homo and all that. We know we talking about another female coming in.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm not gonna want no other man. So I'm quite sure my female or my wife ain't gonna want no other female. She's just gonna do it because she's trying to satisfy me. Ain't really trying about satisfying her. You know what I'm saying? What's that like? That's just about satisfying the man, and then some things go haywire. Like it shouldn't be like that. If you wanna stop out of bounds and want to have a threesome, then don't be married or don't have a commitment. That's not a commitment. Right. I don't feel like that's a commitment.
Right.
Like when you say out of bounds. I like that. Don't step out of bounds on me because that's a foul ball.
Nah, because now if you thinking of another woman, that's in your mindset. Now you always, that's in your mind that you want another female, something that she's not doing that you want something more of. When your female has everything you have, your wife or your significant other has everything. Why are you looking somewhere outside? Yeah. Now that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So why you need something else inside? Like bring another person, like whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's you thinking outside the box now. You thinking outside. You're not thinking as far as relationship wise. For you to want somebody outside to come in, you got to search for them. And you got to spend so much energy and time for that. Like you got time for that? You know what I'm saying? Take your wife out on a vacation. I bet you have a great old time. You won't even think about nothing like that or whatever. I thought of it.
I played with the idea one day. Like, should I introduce that into my marriage? And then I started thinking about the uncleanliness of it. I started thinking about the disease. I started thinking about, you know what? If you open up that door like that, what they call it, Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Once you open up that door, even if my husband ain't thinking about this broad afterwards, I'm thinking about he thinking about her. In my mind, I can no longer satisfy his appetite now because I done exposed him to something else. And now, no matter what I'm doing, in my mind, he wanted again. And don't even think about saying anything about it, because now you really solidifying the fact that I'm not enough for you. So if I'm not enough, like you said, you stepping out of bounds mentally, and cheating don't start at the hotel. Cheating start right up there.
Why would you want that in somebody's memory? That's a memory that they could hold. So like even if after it's all said and done, it's still a memory that he could hold on to and fantasize about it later on. He could fantasize about it while he having sex with you. You won't even know it because it's a memory. You can't lose that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't even be mad if people like, I was just thinking about this girl that we had a threesome with or whatever or whatever. You can't be mad. How you gonna be mad? You gave him the memory. You know what I'm saying? Not you, I'm saying, but it's a memory that he's gonna hold on to. And he don't got to share it with you because you're not going to even know he's thinking about it. He be in front of you thinking about this girl or whoever.
Exactly.
So you don't even want that in. You don't even want that into his mental. I wouldn't want it in my female's mental, like thinking about some other guy or something like that. It's yeah.
On a smaller scale, people be having threesomes without sex too. Like, what do you feel about men or women who in relationships or marriages who still fraternize and do things for their ex, no kids included? Because if you have children, you got a co-parent. That's understandable. Children of a certain age.
Right.
Yeah. I have a 20-year-old daughter. Me and her father, we don't need to talk on the phone no more. Unless it's an emergency or somebody in the family sick, or he reached out to me because my daughter on drugs or some shit like that, and he found out about it. That's different. But he don't need to call me to say, do Ajane need diapers? Because Ajane 20 years old, Ajane got a cell phone. So what's your take on men who keep those soul ties to ex-girlfriends in their new relationship it affects, and they defend that and say, we just friends now?
That's somebody who wants their cake and eat it too. That's all that is, because there's no link. It should be no link to somebody that doesn't have a bond to. You don't have a bond to. What's the bond for? There's no kids involved. It's something you holding on to. It's nothing else. What else that do you need that your significant other is not providing? That you need somebody, especially an ex or something like that. Like that's a memory that you building with somebody. So if you talking to her or whatever, you spending time. That's time and energy that you're investing in somebody else. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Why would that should be cut? You know what I'm saying? Those ties should be cut. If there's no kids involved or nothing like that, why invest time and energy into somebody else when your time and focus should be on who you with? Right. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I feel. You scattered. Your energies are scattered now.
Woo,
now you hear
say that again.
Your energies are scattered. It's not focused. Yeah. So now when your energies are scattered, you're not focused on your significant other because you got to erase that, yo. You got to get rid of that and put your focus on who you want. You know what I'm saying? Now what kind of intent are you setting? You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with somebody else, that's an intentions. What are your intentions? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? All your intentions and focus should be on who you with. Period. That's it. Now I can't stress that no more. If it ain't no kids involved, let it go. You know what I'm saying? What you holding on to? You know what I'm saying? Be real. Be real. If you ain't gonna be real with your significant other, be real with yourself. What you holding on to? Is it sex? Is it a conversation? Be real. Be real. What is it?
It's something. You holding on to something.
Yeah. You hold on to something that you don't want to cut off. You know what I mean? You don't want to get into something new. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still holding on to something. Oh, what's the baggage there for? Get rid of the baggage. You're still holding on. Like you ain't ready to go. You shouldn't even be in a relationship.
Don't hurt your bags.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Because I don't like sharing my pickle. I don't want to share my pickle.
Exactly.
Mine.
That's how it should be, though, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Because I just don't like you killed it. I can't even really say anything more to it. When you said you sharing that energy, like my energy is everything. And if we're sharing energy, I don't need those other spirits and energies coming into our situation. We're building something. And if we're building something, you basically, it's like you literally get these bricks and you stacking the bricks. And in our foundation, we're building with these bricks. If I gotta see other bitches' names, and sorry, I shouldn't say that word. I should say other women. If I gotta see other women names and other situations in our foundation, that causes our foundation to be weak, because guess what? It's not our foundation anymore. It belongs to everybody.
No, they're bitches. They messing with your man. They're bitch.
I ain't know we could say that on Black Talk.
Yeah, got it Black Talk. Girl.
I didn't know we could cut up Black Talk after dark, huh?
After dark, girl. But we on early. We on early with it.
Yes.
My sons don't. My kids don't even know that word, man. I don't even let them know. They don't know nothing about that word, man. Because I don't even say it. That's just me personally.
That's
how I hold respect to women.
That word.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? Hoes, bitches, all that crazy stuff. You know what I mean? My sons don't even hear that word come out of my mouth, because I just showed them how to respect females, period. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a way to show them, get them out of their name and out of their character.
Like,
so I don't even promote. Oh, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wack is the king.
Yeah, I am king. Y'all kings. Queens and kings.
I like to tell this story, right? Everybody watching. Of course, I know these people on here. Wack and Shakira. I met Wack in 4th grade. I met Shakira in 4th grade. Kira, where did you go after 4th grade?
No, I met you in 3rd grade.
It was 3rd?
Yep. 3rd grade.
You sure Miss Andrews' class, the big fat lady?
I was in Miss Irizarry class initially. Who class you was in?
Miss Desposito. Miss Tori Desposito.
Yep, you was in Miss Esposito. I was in Irizarry. And then we went to Miss Andrews.
Right, okay. All right, I'm a little off. We
was running that playground together.
Yep. And Wack, I met Wack. Wack was a new kid from Grove Street or something like that, Wack. And I remember
I came in 4th grade. 4th grade, I came in Miss Andrews' class or something like that. I want to know class.
Yep. Wack had on a yellow sweater. I will never forget that day when he walked in. Wack was my little 4th grade boyfriend, y'all.
Candy I didn't know that you were our age. I thought, for some reason, he was younger. I must be thinking about.
I'm younger. No, I'm your age, but I'm younger though. I'm younger. We all young, man. That's age, man. That's something we put on us. But we the same age. We all the same age. I'm 39. About to be 40.
I'm 42.
Well, see, I am younger.
Yeah.
You already know my age.
You got good knowledge, though. You got good knowledge, and
we all have
my spiritual brother. That's my spiritual brother. I go when I got issues like, wow, help me out. I'm lost. I'm stuck.
Look, we all have it. That's why we linked up together, yo, because we all on the same frequency. We're on the same vibe. So that's what connects us. That's why we connected.
That's right.
What I'm saying? So we vibing on the same levels. Nobody better than nobody. We on the same wave. You know what I'm saying? Nobody riding high or nobody riding low. In synchronicity, that's what we call it. We synchronizing.
That's right. That's right.
So let's go on to another topic. Now, how you feel about Will and Jada's situation, entanglement?
Let her take that, because I didn't really get into I seen a little bit of it. You know, I'm not social media, so I glanced at it a little bit. All I know is something about Jada's having some type of relationship with. I don't know. Chime me in a little bit more detail, because I don't know too much. I just know that she's messing with somebody, a friend of Will Smith or something like that, or both of them. I don't know too much.
Goes back into what we just spoke about. I don't know their life, but I follow them because I like the Smiths. I think they like my friends in my head. And I admired that they didn't have controversy in all these years they've been married. 20-something years?
Right.
But the thing is that it goes back into what we said earlier. When you have those energies into other places and you open up those doors to letting other people in your bedroom, sooner or later somebody gonna slip up. So I think at one point they both may have had like an open style relationship, and Jada, I think she went against the rules of their open relationship, and she started dealing with somebody that was introduced to her from her son, which is a rapper. His name is August.
Singer August Alsina. August Alsina.
Yeah. So she had a relationship with him, but in their defense, when they came live and said, you know, exactly what happened, she said that she did it during a time where she was separated from her husband. Like in their mind, they were done. Even though they didn't get divorced, they were done. And now they ended up mending back together. But that occurred during that time when they was in a really dark place of separation.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna say that, yo, if that was the case, then what she did wrong then? Because what she wasn't supposed to mess with him. It's to certain people that they're supposed to be messing with or something like that. I mean,
I don't know the
what's the
details
difference? So
like
who she
that,
was,
but me as a married
you
woman, I
know,
feel like if I'm separated from my husband and there's a chance we might get back together, me personally, I don't like to get into entanglements with other people. Because now when you get back with your husband, you got some explaining to do, and that right there might tarnish whatever y'all could have reestablished.
So hold up,
Right.
let's talk about this though. How nobody said nothing about what he did? What he got hiding in the closet? You know what I'm saying? That he ain't coming out with. You know what I'm saying? So why are we gonna put all the emphasis on her? Well, how we know he ain't hiding shit? Maybe he might come out some month later, say, well, you know what, I did this and did that. So I don't know because it's too personal, and I don't get into personal affairs with people, but I don't like we don't know two sides of the story, so that's only one. Period.
Right.
That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's imbalancement in that kind of, and getting into that. It's not. I don't feel it's right because I don't know what he dealing with. I don't know what he did. How I know that he ain't messing with somebody or he ain't coming out with something. He hiding shit in the dark.
I think she actually, whatever they got going on, I don't think they set a great example for their children in marriage. That's one side of me. I'm a little two-sided on this. And then on the flip side, I feel like they did set a good example to their kids in marriage, because in marriage it says for better or for worse.
Right.
Yeah.
So in one instance, y'all set a bad example, but that strength and that bond that kept y'all together, y'all kind of set a good example for marriage as well. The behavior is wrong.
Yeah.
But the strength to keep it together, even through the embarrassment, the humiliation, the exposure, I respect that, because marriage is not easy. It is not easy. It is very, 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 very.
Well, why? I'm not married. I've never been married. What do y'all mean? What do you mean? Like, because I see people lingering on to relationships, regular relationships, as if they are married. You know,
that's a difference. It's a difference.
They go through the storm, the storm and everything that a married couple will go through. And you like, well, y'all ain't married. You can walk away tomorrow, easy. So what do y'all mean is hard? What type of things are hard? I'd like to hear this, please.
In marriage?
Yes.
Okay, in marriage, what makes marriage hard is you and your siblings was raised a certain way and y'all different. So imagine somebody who was raised in an entirely different household than you, with their own generational curses, since that's what we're talking about tonight. So you got a man who was raised one way, you got a woman who was raised another way. Right. Y'all fall in love. Y'all might go a little fast because God knew what he was doing when he made emotions run high. This is how the world got, populated, because if love and energy and lust wasn't existence, we wouldn't stick to nobody. We'd be done. We wouldn't even have babies. If sex wasn't pleasurable, nobody would procreate, because why would I put myself through this pain? For what? So the love, the energy, the bonds of life keep you bonded to somebody who might not be that great for you, but because you fell in love with that person and you've grown to love that person and care for them genuinely as a person, you put up with some shit that is hard to put up with. It could be little shit. Like me, I'm a Virgo. I'm very, very, very neat. My husband, he's very neat with his clothing. Like he's very particular. He's addicted to polo, Ralph Lauren. All he wears everything polo. So I'll watch him fold up a fucking t-shirt and examine it and make sure that shit is spotless, and then he'll just flop on my new comforter set, which mean the world to me. Like that comforter set, that's what's important to me. So those two things, that's just a little, example of how you can sit back and just look at somebody like, oh, you gonna take that shit important because it's important to you, but the shit that's important to me, is not important to you, but I still love you. You love me. But that's just a small example of you got to pick your battles. Like, am I going to argue over this little comforted shit, or am I going to leave it alone? But them whole bunch of leave alones make marriage hard. Because you leaving a lot of shit alone to not argue, and it starts to build up, and it makes marriage really hard. And to stay in a long-term marriage in 2020 is hard. Nobody really stays together long like back in the day. I used to always say before I met my husband, I want an old-fashioned love. I want the kind of love that no matter what, we're going to respect each other and stay together, because granddaddy had babies, but he respected grandma. I ain't telling you to go have no babies on me, but the respect, you know what I'm saying? Like, they took that shit to their grave. Grandma ain't know about them babies until the funeral, and then all these other people popping up talking about something. That's my father too. So it's a respect level that I think nowadays people don't have that same respect, and that's what's causing marriages to like break apart, because they never gonna be easy. I'm speaking as a married woman. I don't ever see where a marriage could be easy. I don't care if you got $1 million and I got $1 million. I don't care if the husband the breadwinner, the wife the breadwinner. Marriage is never going to be easy. Can we stick together through the hard shit is what make you married.
Right.
So that's just my opinion on, marriage.
What about you? What?
No, it becomes like a business too thing, because y'all both putting things together in y'all name. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take care of her. You're gonna put her on your health insurance. It's a different thing. It becomes a business thing too, because if you want to buy a house or things that you putting things in your name, when you sign in something, and when it comes to marriage, you put yourself in a bond. You know what I'm saying? You bonded to that person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you stuck with them. You know what I'm saying? Through all kinds of stuff. That's why they say that. Like you in this together. If somebody owes something, y'all both owe it. It's not, if you in a relationship and boyfriend and girlfriend, they owe something, you could just like, well, that's on you. I'm not stuck with you for the rest of my life. You pay that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when you're married, it's like, no, hold up. This is gonna affect me and you. You know what I'm saying? We gotta come together. I'm gonna help you pay this so your shit won't be right. So your shit could be right. Because we need to be this together so we can have things together as a family, as a unit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the big thing when it comes to marriage, is you bond it together. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be separated. So it's a bond. So when it comes to relationships and your boyfriend and girlfriend, it don't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? You can separate. Things don't have to be in your name and things of that nature, or her name. But when it's marriage, everything is on both of y'all. If she's doing wrong or something like that, it's going to affect you. If I'm doing something wrong, it's going to affect her. So that's the marriage thing is definitely different, even when it comes to law. You know what I'm saying? When you marry, when it comes to paying your taxes, when it comes to all that, you fit in a different bracket when it comes to marriage. So it's a lot of things that you could put into perspective when it comes to marriage. You know what I mean? As far as law and relationship wise. But it's definitely I could see it's definitely different from back in the day, like she was saying. That's just what I see. Like marriages and shit lasting 25 years, 30 years. You seeing people now. It's like, it was different back then. Now you got social media, you got a lot of things, that you can
It's easy to cheat.
That too. Like you could stray a lot easier nowadays than before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's too much things out there.
You had to call the house phone to talk to.
Yeah. So now it's a lot different now, and I'm not going to say men. I'm going to say men and females. They could easily get distracted now than back in the day. The distraction is definitely there. You know what I'm saying? But when but if you're married, I don't know. I'm just speaking. Being married, you probably gonna think twice about doing something because you're married. And then other being in a relationship because you want to hold on to something, and you love your wife. You calling her your wife. You did something. You having a ring. It's a lot of things in marriage, and it's easy. It's easy and hard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's hard. It's up and down. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it be balanced. y'all ride good. Then sometimes y'all ride bad. Sometimes y'all, but you got to go through it. It's not an easy ride, like she was saying. It's up and down, down and up. You know what I'm saying? Up and down and up. Sometimes it's balanced. Sometimes it's not. But you willing to deal with that? You willing to take what the other person has, their let's say their qualities that you're not willing to accept, but you accepting them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, maybe they greedy, or they this or that. And you be like, you know what? I'm willing to accept this because I love this person. You know, this is my husband or my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna accept that and know how to deal with that. Because if not, then I'm gonna accept something else out of somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That I don't like. So what you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's definitely two pieces to marriage. Like you got your everyday, like little hiccups, like I mentioned. Like you might have a pet peeve your spouse might do. They might eat their apple loud. Like you have to pick your battles. Like I'm not leaving a good man or a good woman because they smacking on an apple, or you popping gum, or you always singing loud in the car, or little stuff like that. But it's when you start to breach the respect and you start to break the contract, because marriage is a contract. You're telling me and you telling God or your powers that be or whoever spiritual you believe in that you're dedicating yourself to me. And like you said, social media is definitely a distraction. It's definitely a tool that a lot of women and men use to solidify feelings or emotions that they're lacking or not receiving from their spouse. So now I'm on social media, I'll use this for an example, and this guy told me my hair was beautiful. I got dressed and my husband didn't pay attention to me. He never even said, you look nice. So the attention that this man gave me, this stranger, it felt good. My husband didn't give me that attention. So that's where the distraction come from for social media. But you got to be a really strong person. You got to have high self-esteem to not allow those fictitious compliments to interrupt what's real to you. You can't let it go to your head, basically. Right. You got to have some type of substance and foundation with yourself and say, I'm not going to do this. You got to be an adult about it. Like adults, we know right from wrong. I'm married to this man. I ain't got no business having no whole relationship via inbox on Instagram. You slide in my DM. Damn, Carrie, you looking real sexy. Delete. Bro, you know I'm married. You know what I'm saying? And expecting your spouse to give you that same energy.
I like that, yeah, because what you said was it's a contract. I'm gonna, yeah, she right. That it is a contract, and that's a big difference too. When you're in a marriage, it's a contract. When you're in a boyfriend and girlfriend, there's no contract. You know what I'm saying? You can be on your way.
That's a test drive.
Yeah, you bond to a contract. Trust and believe that. And you break that contract, it'd be consequences. Some consequences, for real.
Well, when you attach to a twin flame, that's like being in a fucking marriage because that's all energy and all that combobulated. You think you married, but you really ain't married, and it's hard to. Then you come back, then you go away, and you come back. So
marriage is more like what I said, a contract to guarantee that you receive what's due to you. Case in point, I know this lady named Miss Jean. She's a friend of the family. She's she got to be in her 80s now. Mm-hmm. God bless her. But when she was much younger, she had kids who was in their 50s. She spent 50 years of her life with this guy who she never married. You know, they lived together as husband and wife. She had 5 children with him. They were together as a little girl growing up. I thought they were husband and wife until he got sick, and my mother said, you better marry him. So they called up a pastor to the hospital, and they tried to get married, but he couldn't sign the papers, and the doctor was like, I don't think he's in his right mind enough to marry you. Long story short, after 50 years of being in a relationship with this man, he passed away. God rest his soul. He was a really nice guy. His wife, after she spent 50 years with him, his wife swooped down, got the pension, the life insurance, and everything. And this lady, she got left with nothing after investing 50 long, hard years with this man. She did not get a dime. He was still married to his first wife, and his first wife sat there knowing she was married to him, and just waited for him many moons. I'm sure she was in other relationships and entanglements and stuff, you know. But this is the contract that a lot of these young women and men need to realize. I'm giving so much energy. That's like working at a temporary job for 20 years. You was a temp for 20 years. You ain't getting no benefits. You a temp.
No benefit.
You know what I'm saying? That's the equivalent of being a boyfriend and girlfriend, and you giving all this time and energy fighting for this man, fighting for this woman, cooking for them, cleaning for them, working for them, building with them, but you a temp.
Yeah.
If that job fold, you don't get nothing. You don't got no 401k set up with that. You have nothing. You empty-handed.
What about these people that just keep getting married? Like these people got had 3 or 4 husbands. Like, I mean, if it's that bad, what y'all saying is because people making it seem like it ain't that bad because they keep getting married and over and over and over again. Like, I don't want to be married one time. That's it.
They trying to fix what they messed up in the first relationship.
Yeah, maybe they ain't learning. They ain't learning something. For
they
real, they
trying to prove that they capable, and people who do that, it's something broken with them, and they're chasing the approval that I'm capable. I can do this. I can be married. I can make this one work. And when they can't get that approval, and the marriage falls apart, like J-Lo. How many times you gonna get married, Jennifer? How many times, honey? That's a generational curse right there. You teaching your daughter and your son that you.
She probably never said no. God, would you marry me? All her answers was yes.
That's a good one, except for Puff Daddy.
She probably never said no to somebody who said, would you marry me? I don't know, man.
That's a little girl who grew up wanting so bad to prove herself to be worthy. And she a beautiful woman. You successful. She don't need a man. So it ain't like she marrying him for money.
Right.
She chasing love. She's chasing love, and she's chasing the acknowledgement that she can make it work. And that's why people stay in bad marriages too. A lot of people stay in bad marriages because they want so bad to prove to the world that they were worthy of that longevity. I made this work. I was, I was able to have something. I was able to keep a commitment. But in the meantime, you killing yourself. You miserable.
Right. I know. I'm not marrying nobody just to have that title. You know, a lot of these women and men walk around here because they don't want to be alone. They just want to get married because they're obsessed with getting married. I'm not doing that shit. First of all, y'all should have things in common. You should be best friends. You should be attracted to one another first. You know, instead of just jumping into marriage. Like, I know a few people that have done that, and they probably watching my live. But
let me tell you something. From my experience of being married, you make a list of the things you want, right? But the number one mistake we make is we don't make a list of the things we don't want. Somebody might come along and have everything that you want. Right. But they gonna come with some shit you don't want.
Yeah.
So now you married, you know, you done jumped into what you wanted, right? But you never took the time to say, this motherfucker got some shit I don't want to. So now I'm stuck with the shit I wanted, right? And the shit I don't want. And that's what make it so miserable. And that's what make it chaotic. And that's what continues to make it like you hang on to it. Because what's the word? It's like a cycle. It's like a cycle. Right. I love to hate you. You ever heard people say that? I love to hate you. Like 1 minute I love you so much because you got that shit on my list. Then when you start to display the shit that ain't on my list, I hate you.
This is my don't want list. Can y'all see it?
Jesus.
Damn.
This is my, it's funny that you said that because I did this last year. Okay. Everything I experienced and didn't like in the last person I dealt with, I put for the next future man, don't want list.
Do you believe in discussing your past with your new man or woman?
I believe if he don't ask about it, shouldn't. Sometimes I think like things are just meant not to happen. You know, I like now. I'm dealing with somebody now, or I'm talking to somebody like they haven't asked about my past, and I'm not gonna ask about theirs because it doesn't matter. It's who you are today. Because if I tell them about my past, you know, that's gonna bring back old trash and shit that I don't need for the future. So no, it's not important. We ain't married.
The past is what built you up today.
Yes.
That's what makes you stronger, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's facts, though. You know what I mean? If you're a stronger person, it's because of the past what made you stronger. You know what I'm saying? That's what built you up. You know what I'm saying? That's what made you up.
I have taught my daughters not to discuss their past because unfortunately I learned that the hard way. And what I see is that, no disrespect to you, Wak, a lot of men will take what you told them and use it as a basis of what they can offer you. So basically, if you took this shit off of him, I only got to do a little bit more than he did. I only got to get it right a little bit more than he got it right to hold on to you. You're not getting up here from me when he gave you here. I'm going to give you this. Right. So I taught my daughters, unfortunately, because I don't feel like a brother should behave that way. But unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way and take one for the team to teach my daughters, your past belongs to you. And if your past is truly over, you don't have to discuss it with your new partner. Now, if your partner is a man and he can take in some of the experiences that you had, and he truly loves you and admires you and respects you, he respects you as a man, you don't have to worry about him throwing it in your face. Oh, this one did this and that to you. Oh, but now you mad at me. You ready to break up with me, but you took this and this off of this one.
Right.
You like, yo, I told you that because I thought you loved me, but you using it against me. Like, you throwing it in my face, or you telling me to eat this because you ate that with this one.
Right.
So now swallow this shit because you dealt with worse, basically.
Yep.
That's true. Because why would you want to discuss the old you? That's who you was. You know, let's work on who I am right now. That's so why you want to discuss my past relationship? That's who I was. You know what I'm saying? That got nothing to do with the present or what I'm trying to build now. I'm trying to build on the future, and it's the only way to build on the future is about the now. It ain't about it ain't about the past or what happened or what I was. That's not relevant. What's relevant is what's happening now and why I'm with you. You're dealing with the new me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to know the old me, I can share, but it's not relevant right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not who I'm presenting myself to you. You know what I'm saying? I met you because I'm a new person, and this is who you meeting, and this is how it should be. I agree with you, like sharing the past and things of that nature. I mean, it's not really relevant. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with somebody.
Yeah, I experienced what you said, Carrie. Men do be like that. So now I've learned, fuck it. My past is my past. Now you don't reap the good rewards, brother, from all the struggle I've been through, brother.
Exactly.
Love it all, brother.
Exactly, because I've been through it. I'm gonna say. It was terrible.
Go ahead, why?
No, I'm saying guys could do that though. We could use that to our advantage and shit. Like, you know, I mean, that's true shit though. You know what I mean? We could use that advantage and say, you know what? Well, you know why you let him cheat on you 3 times or whatever the case may be or whatever. You know what I mean? The nigga gonna be like, well, shit, at least I could cheat 1 time. You know what I'm saying? Because you let him do it 3 times back in. So that's why it's not relevant for you to even say something about the past or whatever, unless you're trying to clear something out. You know what I'm saying? Clear the air for something. You know what I'm saying, that you did or whatever. Then it might be relevant. But other than that, why? You know what I mean? That's my take on it.
Even your number, how many people you've been with in your life, or it's nobody's business but yours, you know. And a lot of men or women can't deal with that number. They might say, oh, you promiscuous, you know, like, I don't want to marry a promiscuous person. Like, I feel like some men are real manly and they can handle that. Like, you think about these celebrities, they know everybody who they chick. Like, look at Kanye West. He married Kim Kardashian. It's some brothers out here though that would never marry a regular sister who got that many men under their belt out loud. You know, out loud men. Like, he know your past. some men just can't deal with that. And then you have other men that say that, like you said, that's your past. It has nothing to do with the present. It has nothing to do with what we're building. But I just know that it's like two sets of men in this world. Some men can deal with it and some men just can't take it.
Yep. That's why I
think
hope
it's insecurity.
I'm with the part where I could deal with it because what it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I met you how I met you right now at the present time. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna tell me in the past is not gonna affect me in no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. Me personally. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna have pass judgment on you. You know what I'm saying?
I think insecure men can't deal with that. They can't stand the fact that you had a life before them or that you were someone before them.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta be secure. As a woman too. Like you tell me your ex was bad as hell. She was pretty. I look up on Facebook. She tight and right. Now I'm sitting there, you know, a little on the chubby side, like, damn.
Yeah.
Can I deal with that? You gotta be a real woman.
Because at the same time though, what you just said, if you do that, right, and you look at his ex, then maybe that's not what the type he wanted, and that's why he passed on. So now you're gonna fix yourself to do that, but then he gonna be like, well, that's what I try to get away from. You know what I'm saying? And while you trying to you say, you know what I mean? So that's why it shouldn't even. That's why it shouldn't be relevant. That's why it shouldn't be relevant about what somebody did in the past or what they had or how the other person, because that's something that they got away from. And then they ain't trying to go back to it because then they could have just stayed where they was at. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Maybe that man or that girl was the best shit. They was a 10 if you want to call them that or whatever. But then their attitude was a 0. And that's what they was like, man, fuck that. I don't want nobody that's looking so much good. I just want somebody that's going to be good to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not about the look because I already had the looks. I'm not chasing that. So that's why the past shit is not really the something that they trying to escape from. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time.
Right.
Escape.
That's good shit. That's good shit.
Yes. I'm about to talk about friends and family savings group. It's for our people to learn how to save money. It also you have to invest in yourself for this program, which I'm gonna talk to y'all behind the scenes. Walk already know about it. It's happening to us. It's the new, what do you call it, the stock market for the Black people. I'm advising all my Black people watching, share the video to get on this. It has been proven to work. We are dealing with people that are trustworthy, and you will reap your rewards. And that's all I'm gonna say right now, but I prefer y'all to email me at BEU2BFUL@outlook.com or inbox me on Facebook to find out more about the Friends and Family Savings Group. Please do that immediately. I got a lot of information to share with everybody. We are practically going through a what's this? What you call this? When a drought, jobs, people not working.
Oh, recession or a crash or whatever you want to call it.
A drought. So, you know, I'm not going to say too much what it is, but I will explain to y'all in the inbox. Once you inbox me at Tiffany Turley, I go in more detail. It's working. I'm in the group and I love it. It's working for me. And I'm trying to bring everybody in, Black people only. Not trying to be funny, everybody else, but it's for our people. And by the time we have something for ourselves. And that's it right there with that. Do y'all want to leave out? Anybody want to leave out with something to say? What, you got something to say? You want to break down anything you think people should know? Or Kira?
I just want to just touch back on, it's really a conscious decision to educate your kids on all the little things in life. Don't just leave it up to the school teachers. It's really a everyday thing, and it's an all-day thing. You teach your daughters how to cook when you cooking in the kitchen. You teach them how to clean. You teach your sons how to handle women and teach them how to be men and provide and take care of the family, not only through the school system or education, but through every single action. Everything that you do there, every argument, every bad day, every time you running late, they're watching you.
Right.
be conscious of that and make sure that you always behave in the way that you want them to grow up.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna leave with let's keep being kings and queens, right? And let's know our magic, you know what I'm saying? And just be just each one teach one. Let's see, like each one teach one. I'm into like a lot of occult shit and mental spirituality, mental things of that nature. So I deal with like a lot of mental things, you know, and spirituality. And I know that everything starts from up top, right here. So if you want to build something, or you want to change your life, or anything, starts from your mental. Mental. I can't stress that no more than that, because if you put it in if you focus your mind on what you want, that's your creation. Imagination is creation. Imagine it and it created. That's it. That's what we did when we was little, and that's what we could do now. Use your brain power. Mind is you want to use your mind. And they was telling you the truth when they say a mind is a terrible thing to waste, because they knew the strength of the power of your mind. So if you know that you can create with your mind, you can do anything and everything. So whether it be meditation, whether it be focusing on what you want, draw it up, write it up. It's all in your mental, you know. And that's all I want to stress. You know what I mean? If you could, it's a program. So program yourself. Don't let them program you. When I say them, I'm saying the media, music, people, all these influences that surround you, social media. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's mental stimulation. So you could block all that shit out and just meditate, or just you know, sit back and just get with your own thoughts, not the thoughts that's coming to you. Your own thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Not social media thoughts, not television thoughts, not radio thoughts. All those are waves. This is bombarding you. You know what I'm saying? Phone conversation, all this shit, relationships, fucking family, all that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, lead out of the way. Just go into your own thoughts and say, yo, I'm gonna create this. I'm gonna imagine it and create it. Imagination is creation. That's it. That's what I'm gonna leave with.
Go ahead. Why we got to bring you back on too? Why? Because I know you get deeper than that. Why?
Yeah, you know it. I'm just touching the surface right now. You know, I'm not even gonna get into the magical thing that you can do.
You talking physical right now.
Next time I give y'all tools and things and shit like that. But right now I'm just dropping gems and saying, no, just use your mental thing. You know what I mean? Next time I come on the show, I'll give y'all little things more of which I could do, some tools to help y'all out with that. I'm the magician, the wizard.
That's right. Wow.
That power. All right.
Wow.
Yo.
All right. Kira.
Yes,
Kira will be on with us next weekend. Neffy will not be here next weekend. Hey, Neffy, we know you're around it somewhere. Neffy out there working hard. She got to do. Strong Black woman. But she will be back. Shout out to Neffy. I've been waiting. Huh? Go ahead, Why?
I just want to say before you get on, I appreciate you bringing me on here. You know, much respect to both of y'all. I appreciate that. You know, and I love the energy.
Yes,
I'll be back. I will be back. It was
you're right. You are.
I'm gonna go in next year. I'm gonna open people's minds up.
I enjoyed it.
But no, I appreciate that, though. I really appreciate your platform, and I'm gonna give thanks to that. You know, give thanks.
Thank you, Why. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all share it too when you shut down. Okay, folks, audience. I've been waiting to introduce my little rap song I did, right, y'all? I ain't put the whole song up here because guess what? You gotta go to the website in order to hear the whole song. So I'm gonna give you a little snippet of it. But first, no, I'm gonna play that first. I'm gonna play the song first, a little snippet, and then I'm gonna play our new introduction song that we played at the beginning of the show. So we want to thank everybody for watching. Everybody have a blessed, safe, healthy night. And we see you next Saturday here on Black Talk the Movement. Peace.
Yo, I flow so sick, and that's why your baby daddy on my.
Oops, playing too fast.
flow so sick, and that's why your baby daddy on my woo. Cause I flow so sick, I can't help it, yo. I flow so sick, yo. I flow so sick, and that's why your baby mama on my woo. Cause I flow so sick, damn, your girl so sick. It's a movement, got you moving, keep it moving. Black talk, real talk, black talk, real talk. Like, yeah, my name is True, from what you wanna hear. And if they got my back, let's make it crystal clear. We screaming black power, we ain't never scared. Two queens who do the most is host. So it's a movement, got you moving, keep it moving. Black talk, real talk, black talk, real talk. Like, wow, it's a movement, got you moving,